Okay, this is the review for the Chapter 6 test over Mexico that we'll be taking on Monday. Go through it real quick. It's pretty straightforward what you need to know. We'll start with a map of Mexico. There are 10 locations you need to be able to label. We'll start with, up here in the top corner, we have the city of Tijuana. It's just south of the United States. Here we have the Baja Peninsula, or otherwise known as Baja California, which is the term we used in class. So the Baja Peninsula is the same as Baja California. You need to know the Gulf of California, this body of water that flows between Baja California and the rest of Mexico. You need to, let me get rid of some of these spots. I don't know why they're showing up that way. Okay. You need to, let's see, know this mountain range is Sierra Madre Occidental, and the other mountain range is Sierra Madre Oriental. And again, to remember which one is which, think alphabetically. They're both Sierra Madre. They both start with an O here, but then this begins with a C, this begins with an R, so if you just remember to label them alphabetically, left to right, you'll be in good shape. So the Sierra Madre Occidental mountain range that runs on this side of Mexico, the Sierra Madre Oriental mountain range that runs on the east side of Mexico. In between them, we have what's known as the Mexican Plateau or the Central Plateau. The term we used in class was the Mexican Plateau. You need to know that location. You need to know the city of Mexico City, their capital. You need to know that this peninsula that sticks back up or kicks back up into the Gulf of Mexico is called the Yucatan Peninsula, where the ancient Mayans lived. And you need to know that this big body of water here is the Gulf of Mexico. And I believe the last thing that I haven't mentioned would be up here, and that's the Rio Grande River that runs from the Gulf of Mexico. It forms this natural boundary between the state of Texas and the country of Mexico. We call it the Rio Grande. The Mexicans call it the Rio Bravo. So those are the 10 items that you need to know for the map portion of the test. This map portion will also be used as an indicator assessment, so it's very important that you know these 10 locations. Again, real quickly, the city of Tijuana, Baja California, or the Baja Peninsula, the Gulf of California, the Sierra Madre Occidental Mountain Range, the Sierra Madre Oriental Mountain Range, the Mexican or Central Plateau, but we refer to it as the Mexican Plateau, Mexico City, the Yucatan Peninsula, the Gulf of Mexico, this large body of water, and the Rio Grande River, or Rio Bravo River. All right, some other things that it's important to be aware of. The government of Mexico is democratic, similar to the United States, but they're a little bit different in that one party had control of their government for over 70 years. The culture of Mexico is almost a perfect blend of Spanish and Native American culture. So Mexican culture is strongly influenced by its Spanish heritage, but also by the Native American heritage. Most of the industry of Mexico is located in the northern part of Mexico, very close to the United States, and mostly in U.S.-owned factories, companies that are from the United States that own factories in Mexico, and they're called maquiladoras. So that's what the Mexicans call these factories that are owned by United States companies. The country of Mexico has a developing economy. Their economy is not as strong as the United States. There's not as much wealth in Mexico. There's much more poverty, which is why so many people from Mexico look to come to the United States to try to find better opportunities for themselves. Spanish explorers and conquerors spread diseases that killed Native Americans. We've talked about that before when we talked about the Aztec and the Inca. In particular, since we're talking about Mexico, if we talk about the Aztec, not only did the Spanish conquistadors or conquerors have superior weapons, but they also had diseases like smallpox that the natives had never seen before, had never been exposed to before, and it wiped out huge amounts of the Native American populations. Okay, so there's some of the facts that you need to know. Not sure again why I've got remnants here, but that's okay. Maybe it's left over from the previous slide. All right, some people, let's see. Miguel Hidalgo led the Mexicans in their fight for independence from Spain. If you remember the story about Miguel Hidalgo, he actually came from a pretty rich family and decided to become a Catholic priest, and then decided to help encourage the people of Mexico to rise up against the Spanish and get control of the country for themselves. Mexico makes a lot of money from petroleum. It's their most important natural resource. Petroleum, of course, is what we use to make gasoline out of. To encourage people from Spain to move to the New World, to move to Mexico when the Spanish first started to conquer it, they started to give what were called haciendas, which were large farms that were given for free to Spanish people who came over to live in Mexico. That was a way the Spanish government had of getting their people to cross the Atlantic Ocean, settle in this new world by offering them free land to live in. And back in those times, if you had land, it basically made you a wealthy person. Mestizos, that's the word that we use for people that are of mixed Spanish and Native American heritage. Again, Mexico is almost a perfect blend of Spanish and Native American traditions, cultures. When you look at food, when you look at music, you look at dance, the language. Even though they speak Spanish in Mexico, there's lots of blendings of words from the Native Americans as well. Lots of the places in Mexico have Spanish names, but other places have Native American names. Okay, let's see. A few more things. The first Native American president of Mexico. Once Mexico became independent, their first president who was not Spanish, his name was Benito Juarez. And he made a lot of changes to the way the government of Mexico was run. He got rid of the special courts that showed favoritism towards people of Spanish descent and the wealthy, and established a system where everybody would be treated fairly and equally. Inflation has been a problem with the economy of Mexico, and inflation is when the value of money is low, so the money you have in your pocket doesn't buy as much as it used to. And the way that we normally look at it is it seems like prices are getting much higher. So two ways to think about it. Your money doesn't have much value, and prices seem to be going up. All right, another source of income for the people of Mexico is tourism, people coming to Mexico to vacation. And many people come to vacation in Mexico each year to see the ancient temples, to visit the ruins that were left behind by the Aztec and the Maya. That's a big draw for tourism. And probably more importantly, to visit the beaches. Since Mexico is located on the Gulf of Mexico and on the Pacific Ocean, there are a number of resort cities where people will come, like Acapulco and Cancun, Cozumel. People from all over the world will come there to spend their days in nice weather on the beach, swimming, snorkeling, going deep sea fishing, things like that. And those are very important to the culture of Mexico. It brings a lot of money into the country. Slash and burn agriculture is a way that people clear land for farming, where they go into the forest, they chop down trees, they burn down the stumps, and quickly clear land to create farmland. Okay, the final thing that you'll need to know for the test, Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertos is, I probably shouldn't have even done that, a day in Mexico where the people of Mexico celebrate and remember in a good way the lives of loved ones who have passed away. They spend days and days cleaning up grave sites at the cemetery. They cook the favorite foods of the person who has passed away. They bring out photographs of that person, and then they spend the night in the cemetery with candles, remembering that person, talking about them, just celebrating their life. So it's not a bad thing. It's not really a sad thing. It's just a day to remember and celebrate those that have passed. Okay, and that pretty much covers it. Again, the map is going to be really important since it's 10 questions of the test. So please, please, please make sure you look at this map repeatedly. And then all of the facts that I just laid out to you in the previous slides are all things that you're going to see on the test, either as a multiple choice problem, a short answer problem, or a matching problem. So go through this video a couple of times, watch it a few times tonight, a few times on Sunday, maybe even watch it Monday morning before you come to school. I think you'll do really well on the test.